So the Royal Rumble is in our rearview mirror. The rearview mirror is right here and it shows you what's behind us, and that's the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania is on the road ahead. Everybody point to the sign. But of course, a lot of people are still talking about the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso winning, Charlotte Flair winning, a lot of different opinions about that. But one of the bigger things that people are talking about coming out of the Royal Rumble is Drew McIntyre. Apparently he is not happy with one L.A. Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or so he'd have you believe. What the hell was that noise? What in the heck? What do you want? You're not allowed to just roll up in here. That's right, Drew McIntyre is not happy with LA Knight, or so he'd have you believe. That's right, we're gonna today on WrestleJuice look at the Royal Rumble video and see exactly what LA Knight did wrong. But first, let's talk about the actual reporting. Get out of here, cat. All right, first up from the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, Mr. Dirt Sheet himself, said this on Wrestling Observer Radio. There's a guy that a lot of people were pissed at in that match, with the idea that he was trying to get himself over and not the match over, and he was doing things. I don't want to mention his name. It'll probably come out tomorrow because it's only one person telling me the name, but it's multiple people telling me that the Drew thing, he wasn't happy. It's not an angle if they end up doing an angle with the person later, which there's no hints of anything. Now, let's move on to Fightful Select, who has been on top of it. By the way, this was originally reported by PWInsider to give the proper sourcing and credit for all this kind of stuff, because I'm making some money off this video, so you probably want to go ahead and give some proper credit. Fightful Select, right here on my phone, has it. Drew McIntyre was unhappy following the Royal Rumble, and there are still some question marks as to why. PWInsider reported Saturday night that Drew McIntyre stormed through gorilla position and was vocally unhappy about things, though the specifics were not clear. Fightful has been able to confirm this did occur as PWInsider described it, and nobody was, quote, in on it. Specifically, McIntyre was cursing about someone, quote, having to get their moves in. A number of other talent have reached out to say they agreed with McIntyre and indicated the frustration was on L.A. Knight. Originally, Priest was to eliminate Drew McIntyre before Logan Paul's entrance. McIntyre had been eliminated by Damian Priest, which was to help start a storyline between the two for the SmackDown brand heading into WrestleMania season. McIntyre didn't show up at a WWE after party for the Rumble. And of course, after CM Punk came back, he was upset about that as well. So, number one, let's talk about the idea of Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest at WrestleMania. I don't know if Drew McIntyre would be into this, given that his storyline seemed to be, I'm going after Roman Reigns. On the other hand, if they are going to move him over to SmackDown, which they'd have to do because Damian Priest just got locked down at the SmackDown brand, it would make some amount of sense from a storyline perspective. Given that 1 year ago, Damian Priest was the guy that cashed in on Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. It kicked off the entire, or heated up the entire CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing and led them on to do the feud of the year stuff. And Drew McIntyre getting a win over Damian Priest at WrestleMania is a win at WrestleMania. And who knows what happens from there. If Cena ends up getting that championship off of Cody sometime this year, given that the end of the year is going to be the end of the line for John Cena, it's entirely possible that Drew McIntyre can go on a run where he then beats John Cena for the Cody title and become the top champion in WWE guy by the end of the year. And this WrestleMania match with Damian Priest can be the thing that kind of springboards him to that particular story. Whether or not that's the actual plan, I don't know. At this point, though, to anybody in WWE, I'd say you gotta, to a degree, kind of trust the process a little bit, especially if you're a Drew McIntyre type. Because look at Jey Uso. Something like 4 years ago, he was being bullied by Roman Reigns, and now he just won the Royal Rumble. He's probably going to dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania in what seems to be like the night one main event, because he has like a whole shirt that says WrestleMania main event. And I know that's his nickname, I get it. But it'd be kind of weird if you had a guy named Main Event Jey Uso that didn't main event at least one of the WrestleMania nights, which is weird because you got Punk, Roman, Cody, Cena. You got all those other dudes. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I recorded a little piece of the Rumble to see exactly where LA Knight went wrong. Why did he raise the ire of everybody in the back locker room there by just being in the Royal Rumble? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So as you can see here, the first thing LA Knight did was get up here in the corner. and make sure the crowd knew that LA Knight was here. He did that after a wonderful jog to the ring. He looked like one of them old dudes in my neighborhood with his shirt off doing the jog. He does that thing. Okay. He hits Cena with an elbow off the top. So that's the first thing he does. AJ Styles is lined up for him, throws him into the corner, gives him a neck breaker. All right, what does he do then? Throws hands with Jey Uso. They do the yeah yeet thing. All right, so he does that. After that, apparently takes out Jey Uso, preens to the crowd, preens to the crowd a little bit, sees Roman Reigns. Does he go after Roman Reigns? He goes after Roman Reigns. Sammy says, stop that. So Sammy comes over. He's like, get out of here with that trash. He helps up Roman Reigns. That's a pretty important story beat, okay? So Drew McIntyre then eliminates Sami Zayn, or at least tries to. Jey Uso gets in the way and then super kicks Sami Zayn, and he actually eliminates Sami Zayn. So Drew's story is right there. He does the thing where he's all happy about it, and then things are good. So he goes over, him and Damian Priest start having a thing. At that point, Logan Paul comes out. So if the idea is, according to the reporting, that Logan Paul wasn't supposed to come out until Drew McIntyre had been eliminated by Damian Priest, they're getting to that moment right here with Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. All LA Knight did was come in and do a couple moves to John Cena, AJ Styles, and then to John Cena and AJ Styles, and then him and Jey Uso have their yeet off. What else is there to do? Why didn't they just hold off on having Logan Paul come out? Is it really that necessary to hold to the time? The show went over 4 hours. It was like an AEW length show at that point. So at that point, Logan Paul comes out, and this dude gets in his moves, his taunting, his preening, over and over and over again. The camera is just completely fixated on him to the point that, yes, by the time Drew and Damian Priest have their bit, they end up running into, let's see. So Drew has Jey Uso here. Damian's following him. And and they bump into LA Knight. So, okay, maybe, just maybe, the LA Knight Logan Paul stuff could have waited a second. Or they could have gone into the corner with their thing while the Drew, Damian Priest, Jey Uso thing is happening. I don't know. The whole thing's kind of crazy to me when you think about it, but I don't know. Look, one of two things is going on here. Let's go back to here we go. Number one, this is all completely legitimate and for reasons only known to wrestlers, which I am not one of them. But maybe if one of my wrestler friends looked at this Royal Rumble and saw LA Knight, they were like, oh my God, yeah, look at that. The guy was going to business for himself. He only did a couple moves to a couple people who were feeding for him. So I don't know what the big deal would be. I don't know why everybody else, unless there's a lot more going on in the Rumble where a lot of the other wrestlers are like, oh my God, this LA Knight coming in at number 29. Boy, he really ruined it for the rest of us. There's not that much left in the Rumble. So I don't know exactly where they would get off being like, oh, this guy, he's trying to get himself over. On top of that, LA Knight and Drew McIntyre used to be in a faction together with Tonga Loa. Where's the loyalty? Where's the brotherhood? The other idea is, of course, that this is all a big worky work. This is all a big fakey fake thing. That's a possibility. Drew McIntyre walked out on the whole CM Punk deal when CM Punk came in, and then he ended up having a feud of the year with CM Punk. So you never really know. If a person who says he leaks to the dirt sheets, oh, mad, caused a big ruckus backstage, you don't know where the performance ends, if he's actually upset that CM Punk is there, or if he's just sort of using the fact that these journalists have all sorts of sources backstage ready to get on the phone. Hey, Sean, Drew McIntyre was pitching a big fit backstage. And then it gets out to the world. Mike Johnson, hey, pitching a big fit. When I first heard this, I thought to myself, oh, Drew McIntyre is getting himself a little bit extra shine. So whenever he shows up in anticipation of the Elimination Chamber or whatever, then he'll have a promo that everybody's going to be like, oh, what is this guy going to talk about? What is Drew McIntyre going to say? Because we all heard that he's legitimately upset again in the WWE, and then he would just use it to fuel his next feud. It's a really smart thing, to be honest with you. The whole idea, hey, imagine that, keeping kayfabe. That actually work out for some wrestlers. Instead of breaking kayfabe all the time, man. WWE telling me that it's fake all the time. Anyways, so yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of Wrestle Juice. What do you guys think? Is this a company-wide work? Are all these talents reaching out to Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer, and the PWInsider? Or like, yeah, fuck LA Knight. Or is this the big fakey fake? Let me know in the comments below. It's just me and the cat, apparently, so you can let us know. So yeah, let me know. Talk to you guys later.
Here, bringing you